I was just saying he's not number one pick contention.
That's not true.
I mean, but
Okay, stop this violence.
All right.
No more Russell on Russell violence. Unless I'm doing it.
that's funny. All right. So, anyways, has to be this man chilling in the ring with two torn freaking quads. And just still yelling at it, you're fired, pretty much. Like, just getting it, like, dogging on everybody, not even able to stand. Like,
That's
right
not
there.
Raw.
Well,
That was Royal Rumble.
but,
Still, though, that moment when he slides in and goes to stand up and just sits down against the wheelhouse. So all I can say is Los Crudos better bring everything they've got because this is going to be a fight.
I'll say I'm pretty sure I've only heard of like one Texas death match, and didn't David Arquette like almost die?
Did you just talk about
Good
David Arquette?
Lord.
Did you bring David Arquette into a wrestling podcast?
I said, didn't he almost die? Like,
so I'm curious because I'm like, how are they gonna make someone? Because all the promos they've done to build him up, I'm like, the way that Sammy's been taking shots for Roman Reigns, the only real shot he's given back is a shot with the chair, and then he just got mollywopped. He's never been the guy who just comes out and messes people up.
What do you get?
And can overpower Roman Reigns. What?
What do you get?
Wally mopped, obviously.
Stuff. So you had a B plus on Raw, B minus on SmackDown, had a B plus and a B. You want to know what show got an absolute S plus in my opinion?
SCP, that's the one.
That's right. Squared Circle Pros Tornado Slam. What a show. From start to finish. Damn.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We had, of course, everybody knows, as everybody knows, we've got BCW Wild Horses in Wilson, Texas coming up on February 3rd. And in preparation for that, next week, live on the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast, we will have the one, the only, Exodus Prime as our special guest. AEW star.
What you think? So The Rock is on Buddy's list. The Rock is on my list. The Rock is on your list. The Rock is on our chat's list. The real question that we need to ask the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast is, can any of us here smell what The Rock is cooking?
It doesn't matter if you smell.
Oh my goodness, it doesn't.
But it's things like that. You know, it doesn't matter.
We need to talk about that.
Tickle.
That's how the saying goes.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, tickle, tickle. I think, Rick, if be concerned if he ever comes to you talking about tickle, tickle. Just, I mean,
Hey,
I don't.
all right.
I'm not sure what's going on there.
At the hour and a half mark, I think we've gotten a little.
You're okay. I don't know if he's watching live, but I spoke with Scar a little earlier today, and I know he's going to be watching the podcast a little later on. He's doing a little training right now. But there you heard it, Scar. He said he's going to break out of it. Like live on the podcast. He said he can break out of your podcast or break out of your bear hug. So when you see it,
clip it.
when you see this now, you know what he looks like. Wheelhouse. So all I can say is Los Crudos better bring everything they've got because this is going to be a fight.
I'll say I'm pretty sure I've only heard of like one Texas death match, and didn't David Arquette like almost die?
Did you just talk about David Arquette?
Lord.
Did you bring David Arquette into a wrestling podcast?
I said, didn't he almost die? Like,
and even beat him. Sorry to say, but he's a legend. But to be the best, you must beat the best, And I feel like I can beat him. So Chavo, I'm calling you out. I said, come on.
There it is. Chavo Guerrero. Right there. You heard it. Emilio Guzman calling you out, and I'm not going to lie. Love Chavo to death, but Team Emilio right here, that's where I have to go. Again,
table.
There will possibly be a table there that might or might not have something to do with the match. Come out and see us. I want to say thank you again to everybody in the chat. Thank you to the boys for being here tonight. What's up, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, the tutorial boss, the one and only Guapo. My special co-host tonight, the man himself, the director of operations over at BCW, Mike Caldwell. Mike, what's up, brother?
Man, it has been such a hectic day. We have been in and out, checking on sponsors, making sure everything's getting ready to go for the show. The TMW Event Center it's like night and day. If y'all were there in March, y'all aren't going to hardly recognize the inside of it. We got new paint, we got a new roof, we got a new bathroom. It's going to look pretty.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I've heard about all the upgrades. Haven't had a chance to see it yet, so looking forward to seeing it. Before we get started tonight, of course, want to throw a few thank yous out there. Thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for our intro-outro music. Track's called Head Rush. Album's called Monsters, and you can get it anywhere you get your streaming music. These guys doing big things, man. If you haven't had a chance yet, go labor12.com. That's laborxii.com. Check out what they're doing for their new music video. Big stuff happening with Labor 12, and you're definitely going to want to check it out. That's laborxii.com. Want to say thank you to Joseph and the guys over at American Legacy for our merch. That's a good looking hat you got on there, Mike.
Yes, it is.
We've got our Not Your Average Mark hats. We've got beanies. We've got skull caps. And coming soon, we will have the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast Click All the Things t-shirts. So be looking out for those. What are you going to say, Mike?
I said yes.
Yes. It's going to be good stuff, man. If you need some merch, get a hold of one of us, or we'll have our merch at the show this Saturday night, BCW Head Games over in Levelland, Texas, at the TMW Event Center. I want to say thank you to J-Reb's 3D Printing, my boy J-Reb Cameron over in California, hooking us up. If you look right above my shoulder right here, look how badass that is. Completely 3D printed and made to look that awesome by J-Reb himself. So if you have a logo or any other kind of just anything you want to get 3D printed, jrebs3dprinting.com is the place to go. My boy Cameron will take care of you. So make sure you get a hold of him. And lastly, I want to thank heckyeahradio.com. Last week, kind of a big thing for us. Heckyeahradio.com has a button on their website now. It says Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. If you happen to miss an episode of the show, you can click on that button and you can get the audio version of any of our shows. So make sure you're checking that out. Of course, we don't want you to miss the show. So, be here on Thursdays because that's what we do here. One more thank you out there. I want to say thank you to everybody that's watching, everybody that's in the chat right now. We've got Rick, we've got Daddy Boss 74, J-Reb, J Conrad Photography. Josh, what's up, man? Glad to see all of you guys here with us tonight. For those names that I don't see that are out there, jump in the chat. Let's talk. Happy to have all of you here. Got to throw, the quick plug out there. If you haven't done it yet, click the follow, click the subscribe, click all the things. Go to the social media, click all the things. That being said, let's get into the show tonight. So it's been a crazy weekend, and we're going to start it off with our Squared Circle Pro Tornado Slam Rewind. What a night. Of course, my boy Mike was there. Got to see it all live, same as me. Great night where we got to see the crowning of a new Squared Circle Pro Heck Yeah Radio pay-per-view champion in Brian Rage Rivera. Yeah, that's right. I started the show talking about Chris Watson getting his ass beat. Yes, I did. It was a really good. I talk a lot of trash. It was a good match. A whole lot of back and forth in that. And in the end, Brian Rage Rivera, your new Squared Circle Pro Heck Yeah Radio pay-per-view champ. We got to see the majestic one, Misty Marks, retain her West Texas Women's Championship against the megastar Angel Blue. That one, I mean, it's got that match of the night potential for me. That was really, really good. I'm not gonna lie, there were a couple of times I thought my girl was gonna lose her title, but in the end, came through strong, and Misty Marks still your Squared Circle Pro West Texas Women's Champion. We saw Downfall Cathedral, the Art of Royalty, and the Russell Twins advance to the semifinals of the West Texas Tag Team Tournament. Saw Code lose the match under some circumstances.
Circumstances, we're going to call it now.
Yeah, so we're going to call it some circumstances. Looking over at the chat, Rick saying, thanks to everyone who came, who watched, who contributed to the production and gave their time and effort. Squared Circle Pro wouldn't exist without the overwhelming support, so thank you again. Rick, it was a pleasure. It's always a great show. We were happy to be there. So these circumstances we're talking about, I don't want to give too much away about the show, but I'm going to throw this one out there. Code, being who they are, decided that maybe they needed a little bit of help as it pertains to the Russell Twins. Logan Knight showing up with a chair, but our man Mike Caldwell decided, nope, this is not going to be that kind of match. Came and took the chair right away from Logan, and he was very quickly rolled up, pinned, and out of the tournament. And I think he had a few choice things to say to you, Mike.
He did, and we can't repeat those on TV.
That's true. That's true. We got, like guidelines and all of that we have to follow. Needless to say, he was less than impressed. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out Saturday. We even got a chance to see Nolan Phillips try to pull a fast one on TJ Mundell, only to have it blow up in his face. Supposed to be a match between Sam Stackhouse, Damon McCullough, and he told Sam to stay home because he said so. And TJ's got it in order for him. And well, I'm not going to give away too much. If you didn't get a chance to see the show live, right after we finish the podcast, go to heckyeahradio.com, click on Squared Circle Pro, and go watch the show because, damn, it was good. It was real good. And give a thumbs up to that announcer guy. He did all right.
Yeah, that announcer guy had a pretty cool hat on too.
He did. He had a cool hat. It looked a little like this one.
Yep, nice vest. Kind of looked the part. Was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I cleaned up a little bit for this one. So that wasn't the only thing we had going on this weekend, though. Of course, on Friday, we had SmackDown. Just a quick run through on that. You had Bayley, Naomi, and Bianca Belair Naomi, Bayley, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill going up against Damage Control and Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time. I can't with the Tiffy time. Like, I love her in the ring. She does a great job. She's awesome, but it's Tiffy time. I can't. Of course, after what was a really good match, Bayley, Naomi, Bianca, and Jade Cargill coming out victorious in that one. You had the AOP going up against New Catch Republic. AOP able to pull that one off. We got LA Knight going up against Angel from Legato. And, of course, my boy pulls it out in the end. Let me talk to you. Yeah. LA Knight with the win in that one. Rick in the chat saying, don't be a hater. Look, I said she's good in the ring, all right? I enjoy her in the ring, but it's Tiffy time. Can't with that. The last match of the night, we have A-Town Down Under going up against the Street Profits. A-Town Down Under able to get the win in that one. All in all, a good SmackDown. I think the best part of it for me, though, was they ended the show. Of course, this is the go-home show for Backlash. They ended the show with Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles face-to-face in the ring. AJ kind of does the Stardust thing, try to get under his skin. it was a good way to end, and it played well going into Backlash. All in all, for a go home show, I give it a solid B. Jay Conrad Photography. Josh in the chat saying every time I hear Tiffy Time, I think of the Family Guy episode with all the girls chasing Stewie Hefner. Thanks. Now that's what I'm gonna do. Tiffy Time. All right, that may make that just a little more bearable, honestly. I like it. Of course, on Saturday, while we were all off and enjoying Squared Circle Pro, Backlash was going on, and I've got to give it to him for being. It was 5 matches. It was a small show, but it was big time. So I got to give it to WWE on this one. Of course, we started out with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens going up against Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. I really thought there for just a minute that they were going to, like Randy and KO were going to win this match because they came in hot and stayed that way the entire match. Oh, wait a minute. Rick saying, yet you're all about that awful what's up crap. Hey, you leave our truth. Our truth is a national treasure, and you know it. You leave our truth alone. And you can have your Tiffy time. You go on Tiffy time. I'll be like, what's up? No Tiffy time. Oh, so something going across the top here. I really thought Randy Orton KO was going to win this match. It was really, really good, and we got to a point where KO hits the brain buster into chairs that he's got set up, and I'm thinking that's it. It's over. Who gets up for that? Nobody gets up from that. The ref gets pulled out right before the 3 count by who? Tonga Loa. Like, I feel like they set this up perfectly because all month, all you've been hearing is Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is going to show up. Jacob Fatu is going to join the bloodline. Jacob Fatu is going to be part of it. Was there Jacob Fatu? No, there was Tonga Loa, and nobody saw it coming. Like, Mike, did you see it coming?
No, I didn't see Tonga Loa coming, but I'm really excited at the fact that we have the Gorillas of Destiny in WWE now.
Well, we've 2/3 of them. We've got, and from what I understand, they're eyeing number 3. So, Rick said Gorillas of Destiny. He's been calling that for months, and I'll give Rick that. He has been telling me Gorillas of Destiny. They need to be in WWE. Didn't see it happening here. Not gonna lie, but I gotta say, if we can get Jimmy off the injured list, can you imagine a Gorillas of Destiny versus Usos match? Oh, you know how great that would be? And if that happens, I'm putting it out there now. So, Trips, if you're listening, pay attention because I'm put some knowledge on you here. If that happens, the Usos have to come out to the Usos penitentiary music. Like, that's got to happen. I think it would be awesome. So, you know, I'm talking about this match, and I just keep rambling. Mike, what were your thoughts here?
Well, I mean, it was a banger of a match. It really was, and I really liked the fact that the booking of it was not necessarily lazy. They showed up, they had a brawl, nobody could gain control of it. So finally, Nick Aldis comes out and says, "You know what? Y'all have at it. Do whatever you want."
Street fight.
And that it gave it a reason to have the no disqualification, no count out feature instead of just throwing it out there and there it is.
No, I agree. And when he said y'all have at it, they did not skip a beat in doing so. It was a brawl from start to finish. And of course, Gorillas of Destiny, the bloodline standing tall at the end of it. See, I don't know if I can call them the Gorillas of Destiny anymore. Like, you know, when they're together, I can call them that, but with Solo out there, they are the bloodline still. Which I'm wondering, is it going to be the new bloodline, the young bloods? I don't know. What are they going to call them?
Who knows?
We also had the Kabuki Warriors up against Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair for the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. You could just see charisma just dripping off of Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair from the moment they walked out. Like it was a sight to see, and the crowd loved it. The crowd popped hard. I've always been a fan of Kairi Sane and what she can do. Same with Asuka. But the end of that match where Jade picks her up, turns her around, throws her off, catches her, picks her up, slams. I mean, that whole thing, that whole sequence was just impressive. Like that was the moment of the match for me. What do you think about it, Mike?
Jade is a superstar and capital superstar. Airport test hell. She can walk down any street she wants to, and people are going to know that she is the star. She's money, super money.
Every time. I 100% agree. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair able to pull the win off after that insane sequence. And they are your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Kind of saw that one coming. I'm not going to lie. We had Bayley versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. I was looking forward to this one. I really didn't see Bayley losing this one, not at this PLE. But I was interested to see how they play the dynamic between Bayley and Naomi being friends. Oh, see, duty calls. Bayley and Naomi being friends, and Tiffany Stratton just kind of joining in the mix there and saying, "I'm better than you guys." Like it's one of those things. I liked the match. Tiffany Stratton. I can't do it. I can't handle the Tiffy time, but what I can handle is her damn Alabama slams, because those are outstanding. Like the way she sets it up, the way she pulls it off, that's that's some dangerous stuff right there. And she pulls it off well, and I've got to give that to her. In the end,
pulls it off a little bit better than Hardcore Holly.
I'll give you that. I'm not going to tell him that, but I'll tell you that.
Are you a little bit scared of that one?
I feel like if I told him that, then he'd want to show me which one's better, and I'm just not about that life right now. Looking over at the chat, Rick saying Jade Cargill for live action Storm in the MCU X-Men. I'm trying to manifest this with the universe. I'm with you. Let's do that. As you know, I did not know that was her original trainer. That's impressive. I was unaware. All in all, this match was great. I mean, from start to finish, it was move after move after move. Bayley gets the win in the end. And what I liked was, even though she lost, Naomi hugs her friend. They get in the ring. Naomi says, "Hey, here's your winner." Like, I'm always a fan of that. The sportsmanship angle is always one of my favorites. Then we get to the World Heavyweight Championship. Damian Priest versus Jey Uso. Damian Priest has spent since he won the belt, saying, "I don't need your help. Stay out of it. I don't need your help." Which makes you question, where do things stand with the Judgment Day, right? I could not help but laugh with Jey Uso. Because Jey Uso comes out, everybody does a dance. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody does it. And so he gets in the ring. Damian starts coming at him. He's like, wait. Hold on. Wait. And he faces one side of the ring. Yeet. Faces the other side of the ring. Goes to three sides of the ring. Goes to do the fourth one. Damian Priest has had enough. They have a back and forth sequence that ends with Jey looking right at him and going, Yeet. I dig it. It's comedy and I love it. That's not to take anything away from Jey though, because what a match he put on. Before I get any any further on this. Rick says, I don't need Damian defending on the same card as Cody. I feel like the world title seems like a mid-card belt right now. No shade on Damian. It is what it is. I mean, I kind of see that. I feel like you should have different cards. Like for a while they were doing that. You had Raw PLEs, you had SmackDown PLEs, and you didn't have the Raw champ on the SmackDown PLEs. You didn't have SmackDown champ on the Raw PLEs, and I feel like that worked. I don't want to say it seems like a mid-card belt, but I mean it seems like a mid-card belt. I get where you're going with that. They do need to elevate that belt, and I feel like Damian Priest is someone that can elevate that belt. Do I think he's going to keep it for Roman Reigns style length? No, I don't. I think he's a placeholder. I think the belt goes to the belt either goes to Drew or goes to CM Punk, and it goes into that feud. And then Seth comes back healthy and gets in that mix as well. That's what I think happens personally. And I'm with Rick. No shade on Damian. I mean, Damian's a great athlete. I don't feel like the storyline is there. What do you think, Mike?
Well, the progression of Damian Priest from the time that he was Punishment Martinez back in the day to now is just impeccable, and the fact that he is shining ever so brightly, and I'm really happy to see it that way.
I am too. I mean, he's definitely earned it. No question about that. This match went back and forth 100 times. This could have ended either way. There was a point at which JD McDonough came out. Priest is mad about it. He gets how do I say this? He got thrown off and landed gingerly outside. I will say the best part of that whole part right there with JD McDonough, if you have to listen real close, and got all the gray hair, so I turned it up because I can't hear real well. But if you turn it up, you're listening close. JD McDonough says, use your head. This is how this works. He's like, no, use that big ass forehead of yours. And about that time, here comes Jay, spears him off the ring apron, and out he goes. I thought that was hilarious. We get some more wrestling going on. Here comes Finn Balor. And kudos to Finn Balor, because I don't think anybody has sold a kick from Jey Uso as well as Finn Balor did on the ring apron. That was both feet and hands up in the air. I mean, he sold the hell out of that and disappeared for a little while because, ow. We go back and forth. Jay's almost got him. He's hit the spear. He's going for the pin. JD McDonough grabs Priest's foot, throws it on the rope, points to it, and tells the ref, hey, look. And as much as Priest gets mad at them and I don't need you, I don't want you here, he saved Priest's title reign right then and there, because that 3 was finna come down. So in the end, Damian Priest gets the win, but there's some animosity between the Judgment Day members. I'm sorry, if I'm Finn Balor and you run up to me and you grab me by my chin and get in my face, I need Bullet Club Finn Balor to come back immediately, if not sooner. Like
there's so many pieces of that showing up at WWE too, so it may be one of those long-term deals.
And I hope that it is. Like, I'm not throwing any shade on the Judgment Day, but I need Bullet Club. I either need Bullet Club Finn back or I need Demon King Finn back, because he does not fit the role of Damian's lackey. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
He is an alpha.
He is, absolutely. And I need him to act as such. But that's where we left that. All sorts of animosity there between the members of Judgment Day. We go from that to our main event, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes against the phenomenal AJ Styles. We can't talk about Backlash without talking about this crowd. Holy hell, the French crowd showed up. Like, I don't know if you saw it during this match, but there were times, apparently I I don't have it here in my notes, so I can't tell you exactly what they were saying. Plus, I'm not French, so I probably couldn't say it anyway. But they would say something every time AJ Styles did something, and apparently it's a play off the word phenomenal. And they were singing it so loud that the camera was bouncing. Like, just, it was insane, the energy that this crowd had, especially in this match.
Michael Cole actually said that his Apple Watch went off multiple times, saying that it was hearing damage with the amount of noise that was going on in there.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it. What a rowdy crowd, and I'm loving every minute of it. Before we get too far into this match, let me look over here at the chat. Rick saying Punk wins Money in the Bank, cashes in on Damian, defends against Drew at SummerSlam. It's a good call. I like it. It works. The question is Punk ready by Money in the Bank?
That was the question I was going to ask.
He comes in too quick, injures that arm. We end up with the Finn Balor situation. I'm the champion, but here's my belt because now I'm hurt. I got Rhea in that situation right now. Don't want to see that happen again. So it's kind of touchy on if Punk is back by Money in the Bank. If he is, though, absolutely, I see it going down that way. Rick saying they put the Puerto Rican crowd in check from Backlash last year. They did do that. And until Backlash this year, I would say the Puerto Rican crowd has been the loudest, most rowdy crowd WWE has had. And France put them to shame. They're going to have to up their game.
I will say this. The Puerto Rican crowd actually did not have the indoor factor on it. And if it did, it may rival or beat it.
That is a valid point. I hadn't thought about that. They were outside at Backlash last year, so not so contained with the sound. So, Puerto Rico, I take it back. My bad. Either way, I feel like the idea of having the PLEs in different countries, especially ones that haven't had that opportunity yet, because this was the first PLE in France. So they made it count. So I dig this idea. Let me put it out there what it is. WrestleMania always needs to happen here. That's just my thoughts on it. Rick saying all non-Big Four PLEs should be outsourced to foreign countries. American crowds are spoiled. Agreed. A little bit. I'll have to agree with that. The Big Four, of course, need to be done here. That's what I was saying about WrestleMania. But no, I agree with that. It is world wrestling entertainment. So it's good to see them adding the world aspect to it. Of course, we've got King and Queen of the Ring coming up. That's going to be in Saudi Arabia, I believe, right there in Jeddah, however you say it.
Yes. And they're actually going to have the SmackDown live on Friday night. Or it'll be pre-taped, but they're actually filming SmackDown in Saudi Arabia as well.
Nice. Well, that's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, King and Queen of the Ring, I feel like it's the perfect PLE to do in Saudi Arabia. I mean, the Greatest Royal Rumble, isn't that what they called it before? It was the Greatest Royal Rumble or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
Royal Rumble was first, the Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel ever since.
That's right. Crown Jewel has been good, but I think putting King and Queen of the Ring out there is a good move. But let's get into this Backlash main event. Got another thing here. Rick saying that's the new thing. When a PLE goes international, the SmackDown before will come from the same locale. And I hope they continue that. I think it's a good move. For some of the bigger ones, like I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't have minded seeing Raw live from France just because of the way the crowd was. I mean, I would have been okay with having Raw there as well. But Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles, main event. The crowd on this one, of course, singing the song and singing Cody's song all the way down to the ring. AJ Styles singing their phenomenal song, which, again, I'm not French. I don't know what they were saying, but it's a play off of the word phenomenal. It's a celebration song. So, and it was used a lot because, man, did these guys go back and forth. I've
Very
been
much so.
I've been sitting here talking about it. Mike, let us in on this match. What did you think?
I mean, you've got two upper class caliber athletes, both alphas. Styles is in the best shape of his life that
No question.
anybody's ever seen him in. Cody is in the best shape of his life, and both of them are performing at levels that neither could even fathom to begin with. So,
Agreed.
yeah, it was a back and forth situation. You know, all in all, my brain, I knew Cody was going to go ahead and win anyway because of the fact that it's so early in the process. And AJ Styles has been that guy to be the first one to face new champions in several different situations. So, he was the perfect person to put the test on.
No, I agree with you. And kind of a cool thing. If you didn't know, back, what was it, TNA, that AJ Styles went up against Dusty Rhodes?
Yes.
The cool thing about that is I saw a side by side graphic of that, and the purple and black outfit that he was wearing is the same color scheme, not the same outfit, but the same color scheme of the trunks he wore when he went against Dusty. So just that was kind of a cool throwback, in my opinion.
Yeah. That
And
was very cool.
who else can say that? Like, look at our roster right now. Who else could say, I've gone against Dusty Rhodes and gone against Cody Rhodes? Like I've been out there with both of them.
Very little.
There are very few indeed that would be able to do that. This match had a little bit of everything. It was well deserving of the main event spot. In the end, Cody Rhodes able to get the win with the Crossroads and retain his undisputed WWE Championship. I was all about it, man. All in all, this whole PLE was great. Talking about the crowd one more time, I saw something at this show that I don't know that I've ever seen before. They sang Randy Orton to the ring. Like, you hear people sing out the I hear voices. They sang the whole song. Like, even Randy was like, what the hell is going on here? Like, I can't say enough about the crowd in France. They were awesome. Rick saying AJ and Cody are also two of only 4 men to have held the NWA and the WWE championship. See, I was unaware of that. I appreciate that, Rick. Of course, you're going to have to throw out the other two so everybody will know.
Christian Cage is one of them.
Rick saying Buddy Rogers and Ric Flair.
Okay.
Buddy Rogers, Ric Flair, AJ Styles, and Cody Rhodes. Christian held the WWE World title. That's true. Or not the WWE Championship. Okay, yeah. Different belts. I get you. All in all, Backlash was good, and I'm going to give them an A simply because they surprised me with Tongaloa. Like, I should have seen that coming and I didn't. So all in all, I give Backlash as a PLE, I give it an A. Mike, what do you got?
I'll give it an A too. It was a very good PLA, very well thought out. Crowd was amazing. I mean, it had all the factors that it needed to have that stamp of approval and have that A.
The show gets an A. The crowd gets an like S plus because what a rowdy, raucous crowd. I loved it. I know American crowds. Listen to Uncle Waco for a minute. We have to step up our game. We're falling off. We just got beat by the French.
And that right there is your tutorial boss explaining things to you.
There you go. That's going to bring us into Raw from Monday night. Here's the deal with Raw. We had opening round matches of the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournament. And we got to see some new faces, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Before we get into it, Rick saying wrestling fandom at live events is more than freaking what chance. Finally, it's more than what chance.
Yes, let's start.
Daddy Boss 74, let's start in Leveland. Amen. Let's do that. We're going to start at BCW Head Games this Saturday in Leveland. And I need everybody that's going to be there to bring it. So Raw was filled with King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournaments. We had tournament matches. We had Jey Uso. Of course, to start the night off, you had Judgment Day come out, and Damian Priest apologized. Said, that was my bad. I shouldn't have got on you. I was heated. My bad. Love you guys. And they're like, oh, thank you. If I was Finn Balor, it'd been like, if you ever grab me by my goatee again, it's going to get ugly. But he didn't. He was happy about it. What he was really happy about was that Drew McIntyre had not been cleared to wrestle because of his elbow. And so he figured, I got the first round bye, so let's go party. Until Adam Pearce reminded him that I said that you weren't facing Drew. You don't have a first round bye. As a matter of fact, your match is now, and it's against main event Jey Uso, which Finn was none too happy about. It was a good match. Like, I dug it. Jay pulls it out in the end. Drew shows up, comes out through the crowd, which kind of figured that was going to happen. But stop and think about the psychology on that for a minute. Drew has been after Jay since Jay came back to Raw. And then he's replaced in the tournament by Jey Uso, who wins and moves on to the next round. If I'm Drew McIntyre, I have to be fuming at this point. What do you think, Mike?
Well, perfectly honest with you, I missed Raw.
What?
Well, there's this thing that I've got going on Saturday, and every single spare minute that I have is being prepared for that.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. Drew comes out, talks to Pierce and says, I'm ready to fight. I already told you I'm ready to fight. I don't care about my elbow. And Pierce shut him down and said, no, you bring everything up, talk about how you're hurt. So we went ahead and had you checked out, and you're not medically cleared. So you're not wrestling. You're not in the tournament. Sorry about your bad luck. Drew gets pissed, gets in his car, hauls ass out. And as he's going off screen, CM Punk pulls up on screen. 3 seconds between the two. Punk goes down to the ring, says that he's done being nice Punk, and I believe it was if I have to, he was going to take over the show, and I'll sit here all night. Drew, since all you do is get on social media, you guys tweet it or whatever you need to do, but get him back here because I'm going to sit here until he gets here, and ends up not doing that. Oh, shots fired. Timeout. Hold on. Shots fired. Rick in the chat said Mike is busy doing important things. Unlike the guy who absolutely could be watching but is not. Shots fired. Mike, we may have to put them in the ring on Saturday. Just saying.
Rick is not medically cleared. Not going to happen.
See. I'm going to say, the guy got lucky. Rick says, bring it. Sarah saying, neither am I. He's not medically cleared either. Rick wants to sign the waiver. Okay, calm down, Rick. I'm going to need him up there in commentary with me. I'm going to need him up in commentary with me. So yeah, I'm going to need you to calm down, Killer. But No, what can you say about this whole Drew CM Punk thing? CM Punk had the best line for me, talking about it appears like he's not going to show up, so I'm going to find him, and I'm going to break his face. And if I've got to wait till Clash at the Castle, you know, Drew's going to be sitting around. I'm going to pop up out of a bowl of haggis, and I'm going to break him right in his face. So I thought that was funny. We also had Ricochet versus a Raw debuting Ilya Dragunov. Man, you put those two in there. I hope that is not the last we see of Ricochet and Ilya Dragunov, because that was a hell of a match all by itself. Ilya Dragunov is one of the few people that I can say can go toe to toe with Ricochet, as far as moves, as far as, I don't know, fierceness, I guess would be the way to say it. Like just the explosiveness. It was a great match. Ilya pulling off the win. I was happy to see that. It's a good debut for him. I ended up shaking Ricochet's hand. Like I said earlier, I'm a big fan of the sportsmanship thing. So seeing him win and then him and Ricochet shake hands was awesome. We also had some Queen of the Ring tournaments. We had Ivy Nile up against Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark and Ivy Nile need to go at it a lot more often because they're so evenly matched. I enjoyed the match. It was really good. Zoe Stark gets the win in the end. We had Natalya versus Io Sky. I love Natty. I do. I've loved Natty for a long time. Natalya is awesome, but I almost feel like if you put Natalya in the ring, it's to put somebody over, and that's all they're doing with her. And I hate to see that. I hate it to, I hate it to be that part of her career. But she did exactly that and did a really good job of putting over Io Sky. Io Sky gets the win. We get Becky Lynch out in the ring giving a promo, and out comes Liv Morgan. We like it when that happens. Liv Morgan, what? I'm just telling it like it is. Liv Morgan says, I can't believe you're talking about all the things going on. You're not talking about me. The one thing I haven't done is beat you. And now I have the motivation. You've given me drive. So I'm coming after you. I'm going to take the belt, and then I'm going to take everything else that Rhea Ripley loves, and I'm going to take it all. At this point, you have Damage Control come out, and they surround the ring, and you get Becky and I'm lost where I'm at here. You get Becky and Liv back to back, and Liv dips, rolls out of the ring, says, "Not my problem, sorry." And so looks like we've got Becky by herself, but out comes Lyra Valkyria, also making her debut on Raw, and I'm excited about that. Good match between her and Asuka. Lyra gets the win in her debut. She's moving on. And then we get Bronson Reed and Chad Gable. It was a good match. Like, Chad Gable is today's Kurt Angle. It is what it is. I made a joke last week about at some point we're going to get Perk Gable, and just because he's playing the heel the same way Kurt did. It's good. I like it. This one went to a no contest. Sami Zayn comes out, lays him down, just starts beating the hell out of Chad Gable. Bronson Reed puts them both down, and that's how the match ends. So we get a no contest on that one. And finally, we get our main event, Sheamus versus Gunther. And what a damn match. People can say what they want to about the weight that Sheamus has gained. He may have put on some pounds, but he hasn't lost a step in the ring. Now, don't get me wrong. He had to lean up against the table a couple times to catch a breather, but so would I if I was out there. So more power to him on that. This match was definitely main event material. There was a couple of times I thought Sheamus had it. He got the brogue kick in. Gunther really working that knee, so I didn't even know if he's going to be able to do the brogue kick. In the end, Gunther gets the win, a well-deserved win at that, so he's moving on as well. Raw was good for what it was. I give it a B plus. I give Raw a B plus. It was good matches. It was some of them were a little clunky, but all in all, good matches, and I dug it. So I'd give it a B plus. I'd ask for yours, but you were doing important things, getting things ready for what we're going to talk about next. Before we do, need to throw it out there one more time. If you're watching the show right now and you haven't done it, click the follow, click the like, click the subscribe, go to all the socials, click all the things. It helps us out, and we appreciate everybody that does it. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about this Saturday night, May 11th, TMW Event Center, Levelland, Texas, BCW Head Games. Mike, I'm gonna turn the intro to this one over to you, man.
Bottom line of this deal is we are raising money for autism awareness and for the Burkhart Center. And bottom line, show up, donate to a good cause, and you'll get a hell of a night of entertainment for it.
Before we get into that night of entertainment, I do want to touch on that. We've had the absolute honor of being able to partner with the Burkhart Center on this. I kind of touched on this last week when we were doing our Square Circle Pro run up, but I got to put the shout outs and throw the flowers out for you, for Crystal, for Gabe. Not this last Sunday, but the Sunday before, the Burkhart Center had their annual Burkhart Center Autism Walk. Mike, Crystal, and Gabriel Alexander set up out there. And from what I understand, the walk was from 2 to 4. And you guys were set up at like 1:30. And from 1:45 till they were done, people just all around Gabe, taking pictures, getting to hang out with the champ, talking to him, getting motivated. I mean, I can't say enough good things about you and about Gabe and about that opportunity. So tell us a little bit about that real quick.
Well, we forgot to mention one person. That's Miss Sheila. Miss Sheila.
Yes, Miss Sheila.
Gabriel's mom. And that woman is special. I don't even have more words for it. But she was the one that was kind of doing the crowd control, helping make sure that people were getting in line and doing whatever, grabbing cameras, taking pictures, doing the whole 9 yards. While Crystal and I were the focus we were trying to do was to make sure that we were spreading the word about this game, about Head Games, about what we were doing, how everything was going to work for it, and when, where, and how much money.
And it was like all the love in the world for Miss Sheila. Like she sent some of the pictures and they were awesome. I mean, it was just an awesome event. And Rick over in the chat saying he loves that when you support BCW, not only do you support indie wrestling, you support worthy causes. BCW deserves all the flowers for their charitable endeavors. I agree wholeheartedly, Rick. I mean, every time you put on a show, Mike, it's for a good cause. Every show is for a good cause. And this one, of course, rings a bell with me because, I have a daughter on the spectrum and we used to do the autism walks and everything. And so having a show where we can celebrate education and we can help with awareness. I mean, it's a big deal for me. So from me personally, from the podcast, thank you for making this happen. So let's get into this show, man.
Let's do this.
We've got 8 big matches, all of them bangers, no question about that. We'll start with TJ Slater versus Nathan Briggs. Of course, no love lost between the Resistance and Team Nefarious, that, of course, being TJ Slater and Atticus Wild. Atticus Wild unable to be here, out handling Nefarious business. So we've got TJ Slater going up against one half of the BCW Old School Tag Team Champions in Nathan Briggs. How did this match come about?
Well, here's the deal. we have TJ and we have Atticus Nefarious. They're kind of on a roll. They're doing their thing. They won in March, and they've got some momentum going on. And this right here, we'll talk about another match that has the same implications here in just a minute. But if TJ beats Nathan Briggs, that's going to secure that title shot for them at Hot Blood in July.
Well, and TJ Slater, like I've said it before, and I'll say it every time I get the opportunity. If you look up wrestler, professional wrestler in the dictionary, there is a picture of TJ Slater, or at least there should be, because he's got the physique, he's got the ring moves, he's got the charisma, he's got the mic skills. He is a heel among heels. The interaction with the crowd, I mean, he's the whole package. But Nathan Briggs, a ring veteran, a grizzled veteran at that, like he knows what he's doing. He knows. I think this is going to be a good match. I think that they're different enough from each other that it's going to be who can do what. So I'm looking forward to this one.
I am too.
Of course, when you go ahead.
I mean, you touched on it. Briggs is an absolute veteran. He's been in the business for a very long time. He knows things, and he probably knows a lot more things than TJ. And it's not necessarily all about what you have in your arms and your legs and your chest and everything else. It's what you got up here, and Briggs has a lot of that.
He does. Very, very ring aware, very, very good ring psychology and just ring knowledge. So this match ought to be great. And of course, if you've got Nathan Briggs around, Jason Zane can't be far behind. And we do have a match, Jason Zane versus the not so friendly neighborhood vato, Emilio Guzman. This is gonna be a good man. Emilio has been so looking for the right word. He's aggressive. Like he's got this found aggression.
Ruthless would be the word that you're looking for.
Well, I'm trying not to put ruthless and aggression together because I think that's trademarked. But
a little bit of history. Back when Emilio was first starting out, his actual ring name was Ruthless Ken Carter.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. You put some knowledge on me tonight. Well, the ruthless definitely fits because he's got a savagery about him as of late that has worked well in his favor. But Jason Zane, that dude takes a beating, keeps on going. Like there's no stop in Jason Zane. So how did we get here? How did we get to Jason and Emilio?
Well, the deal is Emilio is a decorated tag team wrestler. He has people in certain places that he could pull from that could be his partner for said tag team match. Now, what we did was we strategized and said, okay, Emilio's got himself a tag team. Zane's got him a tag team. If Zane wins, if Briggs wins and Zane wins, we don't know what we'll have to figure out what we're going to do as far as what we're going to do for the title in July. But if TJ wins and Emilio wins these matches, we will have a 3-way match for the BCW Old School Tag Team Championships.
Okay. That'll be at Hot Blooded in July.
Yes. Yeah, Hot Blooded.
Man, you've been working head games all week. I get it.
Been working head games all my life.
Well, yeah, there is that. No, it's going to be a good match. They're both good at what they do, and both of them with something to prove here. So I'm looking forward to that. Our next match, the Concrete Gorilla, Big Said, going up against a debuting Hippocratic Nightmare, Marcus MD. This one, you know, I got a chance to see the promo from Marcus MD. Very confident dude, and I mean he seems to know what he's doing around a ring. So how did this one come to be? Did he come to you? Did you say, hey, I got, you know, Concrete
Well,
Gorilla needs a fight?
well, for Ced's actions that happened back in February, he ended up getting suspended off the last show. This is going to be our test run. We've allowed Big Ced to come back, and now we've had Marcus MD who's been knocking on the door at BCW going, hey, I'd like to get an opportunity. Can I come in? Can I come in? Can I come in? Well, I happen to need an opponent for Ced, so here we are. And Marcus is not the. I mean, he's tiny compared to Ced, but like I said before, it doesn't necessarily what you have physically. It's more. It can be a mental battle. It's chess. So Marcus has a good chance of doing some damage to Ced. But if Ced ever stops him and gets his hands on him, I feel sorry for the kid.
You know, I'm kind of there in the same spot. Of course, Big Said. I still have my issues with Big Said.
Yes, you do.
That guy, he and I, one of these days, he and I are going to have a conversation. For those who haven't seen it, those who have joined since then, back in January, Big Said decided to try to recruit anyway, Scar, who my son was in a bear hug challenge with, and continued the beatdown afterwards. And he and I still have some unfinished business to talk about. So one of these days, he and I are going to be face to face, and we're going to have a conversation. Just letting you know.
Okay. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.
Well, I mean, I've got the up here, but I may not have it all right here, but I've got the up here part. So, besides, like I said, I just want a conversation. We just need to talk. But we're gonna move on past that before I say some things that get me in trouble with guidelines. Our next match, Smoke the Reaper making his return. We haven't seen him since Hot Blooded of last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for him making his way back against Michael Darkheart. First time I got to see Michael Darkheart was when we had, I believe it was Wild Horses in Wilson, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He had a really good match. So, Smoke the Reaper, Michael Dark, they've had kind of a storied history, from what I understand.
It's been years. It's been years that these two have been going at one another. Michael, whenever he came in February, was talking about, hey, is there a possibility of coming back for a return? And I said, yeah, sure, and Smoke has been one of those guys that's been kind of waiting in the wings, seeing what he can do to get an opportunity to come back too. So, I mean, these two have storied history. I don't necessarily know all of it, but it's out there, and they want to put it to bed, and no promoter in East Texas wants to touch it. So here I am being that guy.
Well, and I'm about it. Watching Smoke the Reaper's promo, he kind of put something out there a little unexpected. He is the holder of the Oasis Championship, Oasis Wrestling Championship, and he's putting that belt on the line against Michael Darkheart in this match.
Okay.
So kind of an added layer there in this rivalry. So I'm interested to see how it goes. Of course, Smoke the Reaper, a professional in every sense of the word. Like he goes in there, he knows what he needs to do, and he gets it done. But nobody knows him quite like Michael Darkheart does. So it's going to be interesting to see this history play out.
Exactly.
Our next match we've got coming up. Can't lie, I'm really excited about this one. Fatal 4-Way. 4 of the top talents in Texas coming at each other, one ring. It's going to be something to see. Max Volume Beckett, Dorian Robinson, Jeb Bingham, and Damo McCullough, all in the same ring, all at the same time. How did you manage that one?
Well, let's give a little bit of a history lesson. Damo McCullough faced Max Beckett in November.
Mhm.
In January, he faced Dorian Robinson. Jeb has faced Max Beckett in several different places all over, and he's faced Dorian Robinson in January. So, but the only two the Dorian and Max have never touched. Damo and Jeb have never touched, but they all play this same little circle with each other. So why not go ahead and put them all together and see what kind of cake we can bake out of that deal?
No, absolutely. And this Fatal 4-Way is main event material. I mean, at any other promotion, you put those 4 people together in the ring, that's main event material right there. Or I mean, it's for a belt or something. This is just to see who comes out on top, who is the better man in this, this Fatal 4-Way of top tier talent.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. I really am. Of course, we've been following Jeb as long as we've been a part of this. We've been following Jeb. He's our boy, friend of the show. Damo McCullough going through a bit of a change, going from that Texas Terror persona to the Thunderbird, and got a chance to see the Thunderbird side of Damo McCullough when you and I were in Oklahoma last month, and he's upped his game.
Justin Taylor to his limit is what he did.
He did. He absolutely did, and he's upped the game a lot. So it's going to be good to see that. Dorian Robinson, I'm not gonna lie, the first time I saw him, wasn't real sure what I thought of. He made the turn, and Dorian Robinson, if I remember correctly, part of the reason that the Resistance is your BCW old school tag team title holders. I believe he turned on. Yeah, like he turned on his partner, and that's what caused that. And Max Beckett, not a fan of Levelland, Texas. I believe in his promo, "podunk" was the words used to describe Levelland, Texas. He's not a fan, but I believe the crowd's going to give it right back to him. So he may not be the favorite with the crowd going into this one, but you cannot deny his in-ring ability. So it's going to be crazy to see these 4 going at it. It's one of the matches I'm looking most forward to. And
it's going to be it's going to be down and dirty.
It is, no question about that. And we go straight out of a Fatal 4-Way into a triple threat for the BCW Texas title. Man, the implications in this one. Of course, you've got your champion, BCW Texas champion, defender of truth, Gabriel Alexander, going up against not only Chris Watson, but that's another conversation that needs to happen. Not only is he going up against Chris Watson, but going up against his former partner, the Kings of West Texas. It's West Texas Kings, yeah. West Texas Kings were Gabriel Alexander and Mac DeFranchise. Mac DeFranchise part of this match. So it's going to be interesting to see how that history plays into this one, because don't nobody know each other better than Gabriel and Mac.
Yeah, this is true.
You throw Chris Watson in the mix, and you're looking at a hell of a match.
Yeah, Absolutely. Bar none. If you look at it from this standpoint, Mac the franchise, Chris Watson, and Gabriel Alexander are the most decorated wrestlers in West Texas.
True. I can agree with that.
You know, holding titles for several different promotions. You know, granted, Chris Watson ended up getting the short end of the stick the other night. Ended up with Brian Rage giving him a black eye and everything else. But
Shucky darn.
but Chris Watson still is the what is it, the West Texas champion for South Plains Championship Wrestling?
I believe so. I will say this about Chris Watson. As much trash as I talk, when the man gets in between the ropes, he is an absolute assassin. He is a machine every match he's in, and I will give him that every time. Outside of the ring, but inside that ring, he's an absolute machine. So it's gonna be a challenge. Like, it's not just gonna be Gabe and Mac. Even if they team up, they've got a challenge coming from Chris Watson. So this match, if I had to pick a winner, I honestly couldn't at this point. And that's my, I love matches like that where I can't say, okay, well, this is probably what's going to happen. I couldn't tell you who's going to win that match.
Well, that's the point of it, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. We've got two more matches here to talk about, one of them being the BCW Heavyweight Championship match. The living proof Justin Taylor up against Concrete Nate Collins.
See, let's go. And Rick could back me up on this one. Just this last week at Squared Circle Pro, we saw a side of Justin that nobody's really seen before.
We did that. Well, I got to throw it out there. I got to interrupt and throw it out there. Justin said the F word. If that doesn't say it all, Justin said the F word. It was crazy. I'm going to hold you up for just a second, Rick. Want to say thank you for the follow, Rick or Mortis. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate the follow. But yeah, I've never seen that side of Justin Taylor. I don't think anybody has. Half the crowd was going, oh, and the other half couldn't believe what they just heard. So,
yeah, including you. Your mouth
including me.
Wide open.
Yeah, a little bit. But
here's the deal. Justin ran Nate Collins out of town last week.
Mm-hmm.
So Nate Collins wasn't there. He did what he had to do to Marquise, but now he's in a one-on-one situation with Nate Collins. And he put the challenge out there in his promo. Show up, be your best. I'll show up alone. You show up alone, and we'll make this happen. And Nate accepted the challenge, said he's going to be there by himself. So here we go.
Well, and I'm going to put it like this. I think that Justin kind of brought everything back in, kind of refocused a little bit, but I could see that unhinged side of him come out at any time. I feel like the promos we got that I've seen on the socials, Justin was back to, let's go out there and let's have a great match and let's show him why we feel like we feel. Nate Collins talking about the old ways, and he's going to bring the old ways to BCW, and I accept your challenge. Let's get out there. But I feel like at some point that switch is going to flip in that match. And for me, it adds a whole new layer, man. I'm going to be watching this match in anticipation of, is Justin going to lose it? Is Nate going to return the, is Nate going to give a receipt for being chased down? Like, I feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's a layer there that.
One way to find out, buy your tickets, Tobacco Express.
Absolutely.
Online websites out there. Hey, my phone number's out there. And you heard my phone ring just a minute ago. So
okay, was that somebody buying a ticket?
That was somebody trying to buy a ticket. I sent him a
I love
message,
it.
told him I'd talk to him in about an hour.
So speaking of things could go, you don't know how they're going to go. Anything could happen. Our last match, an unsanctioned.
Can I stop you for a second?
Sure. What's up?
Okay, so in making phone calls and everything else today, me and the guy had a little conversation going on, and I kind of sent him a little bit of a video, and he told me he was going to play it for me. But here's the deal: the winner of Nate Collins and Justin Taylor, they're going to be facing the guy that we're about to show in this video. Guy, if you will.
Are you kidding me? Brick Savage? No kidding. When did this happen?
Well, actually, I think it was hot-blooded last year that I ended up getting on the phone with Brick Savage and actually giving him a date and saying, hey, can you be here this day? That man is a very hard man to get nailed down. He books out very far in advance. And Rick should know that because he will be there July 20th at Squared Circle Pro as well. So
Headlocks and heat waves. Okay. Man. So let me get this straight. Justin Taylor, Nate Collins, they go at it. Whoever wins that match at Hot Blooded is going up against Brick Savage.
That's correct.
I've got to ask, I've got to do it. Since this is for the BCW Heavyweight Championship, is the belt on the line against Brick?
Absolutely.
Woo-hoo. All right. Now I'm ready. Saturday needs to get here. And we even talked about the big match, the one that's everybody's waiting for. Unsanctioned grudge match. Mike Caldwell versus the Spotlight Logan Knight. It would seem that after hitting you with the chair, Logan may have lit a fire under you. And explained how we got from you reffing the match, him hitting you with a chair, to you guys one-on-one.
That is an absolute long story. So I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest version of it.
All right.
So here, bottom line, he hit me with a chair. He woke up something that has been dead a long time. And that fact is, he's going to pay for his sins. I had to do a lot of talking. Terry Pantera and I had a sit down whenever we went up there to Oklahoma last month. And considering I'm not legally cleared to be wrestling, he has granted me this match, but I had to sign a waiver. This is unsanctioned by BCW. BCW is not held responsible for anything that happens in this match.
That just made this match a whole lot more dangerous.
Yep, it sure did. But here's here's some issues. We're going to have a sanctioned referee, and he will be following all the rules. It's not going to be what you saw at WrestleMania with the guy from the board of directors telling the referee, "Don't count or you're fired." No. Rules will be upheld. But we're finishing this.
And this
And the
is
bottom line
one and
is-
done, right?
One and done. End of the night, regardless of the win, lose, or draw for me. End of the night, my boots are getting hung up.
Man. So it's been what? 2 years?
Not quite 2 years, but yes.
And you went out with an injury, and correct me if I'm wrong here, you went out with an injury after being kicked in the head by Phoenix, wasn't it?
That's correct.
I can't even imagine. And after that, coming back to the ring to face Logan Knight in a one-time shot. May the best man win, end of the night, whichever way it happens, that's it. You're hanging it up.
Yep.
Well, I'm looking over at the chat, and Rick saying it's the main reason he's attending the event. Daddy Boss 74 saying that's all of us. We're there to see Mike whoop the hell out of Logan Knight.
And I'm going to give him one hell of a fight.
No question about it. Now, I do have to ask, having not been in the ring for the last couple of years, almost a couple of years, how are you preparing for this match?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Thanks to the help of the guys over there at Pro Wrestling 101, look them up, find them on Facebook. They have a hell of a wrestling school over here. And I have been going for several weeks now, and we've been working with me. We've been trying to we've been knocking the rust off, getting everything ready to go.
So I got to ask, how does it feel to be back in the squared circle for a little while?
It's, on one hand, it's exciting, and the other hand, it's nerve-wracking. See, I've seen guys that are promoters that go out and wrestle on the events, and I've always had it set up to where that wasn't a factor with me. You know, whenever I took this position on, there was no intention of me getting in a BCW ring ever again. And I mean, push come to shove, Logan Knight did what he did, and now we are where we are.
There is a psychological side to this as well. The show's called Head Games. Logan's good at them. Have you been preparing for that as well?
Do you think I don't know the playbook of one Logan Knight?
No, I'm sure that you do. Just, in training to get back, the physicality of it and the mental side of it and everything. I want everybody to hear how you get ready. Because Logan's kind of, how do I say this? A little arrogant about this match. Like, it's not, he doesn't seem concerned, which I feel like he should.
Well, that's his mistake. He should be concerned. He should be concerned for the fact that he woke up this beast. And whenever it comes time and that bell rings, the fun and games end. It's all business. And I'm coming after him.
I don't think it could be said any better than that. Man, I'm looking forward to it. That, of course, is this Saturday night. Levelland, Texas, TMW Event Center. You do not want to miss this show. Get your tickets. Tobacco Express Liquors. Go to the BCW socials. There's links there to get your tickets. It's all out there. So make sure you get your tickets to that. We are at that 9:25 mark. And as always, I like to turn it over at 9:25 to my guest. So, Mike, for the people watching, for the people listening, for the wrestling world at large, the floor, my friend, is yours.
May 11th, TMW Event Center, the newly remodeled TMW Event Center, may I add. We will be there. We will be hosting Head Games. We are doing this for a good cause. We are doing this for the autism awareness. We are doing this for the Burkhart Center. We are going to put on great entertainment. Make sure that you get your tickets and get your tickets quickly, because from the feedback that I've got from all the places that we've done things, it is going to be a full house. Get them early.
I can't wait for it, man. I hope the whole place is packed to watch you beat the hell out of Logan Knight. I mean, I'm sorry, to have a match with Logan Knight. Maybe I shouldn't throw it out there quite like that, you know. No, I am excited for that, man, and all the flowers to you for getting back in the ring, man. I've seen footage of the kick. I don't know that I could get back in it after something like that. So kudos to you for that. And of course, once again, from us here at the podcast, from myself especially, thank you for this charitable event that you're doing, because the Burkhart Center for Autism Research and Education, they do big work, and they help a lot of people. And I know that, if I understand it correctly, the profits from this show, that's where they're going.
Exactly.
The profits made from this show are going to the Burkhart Center to help them help others. I can't think of a better cause, man. I appreciate the fact that you bring this to us, that you bring this kind of giving back to the community. It's really awesome. So want to start by thanking you for that. Since we're on the thank you train here, thank you for once again coming on the show. We always love having you on. What can I say? West Texas Independent Wrestling is the drug that just keeps giving, and it's legal in 48 states.
No, it's legal in all 50.
Okay, it's legal in all 50. Well, I mean, after the whole thing in France, I don't know if it's. We'll get into that later. It really is a drug in it, and if you haven't had an opportunity to experience West Texas Independent Wrestling, this is the time to do it. Get your tickets. Show up at BCW. We've run through all 8 of these matches that are going to be on the card. It's going to be one hell of a night. We've got a fatal 4-way. We've got a triple threat. We've got we've got a debut. We've got a grudge match. We've got an unsanctioned grudge match. There's something for everybody here. Plus, Sunday's Mother's Day. What says Happy Mother's Day better than grabbing mom, bringing her out to the TMW Event Center for some family-friendly fun? Being that I've said that now, since I won't be seeing the ones of you that don't come to the show until then, Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Exactly.
That's going to about do it for us, man. I'm excited for Saturday. Saturday needs to get here. Of course, your boy going to be doing some commentary. So if you're there, come up to the commentary table, say hi. You know, come get your Not Your Average Mark merch. I think that's what we're going to start calling it. It's Not Your Average merch. I think that's going to be a thing. But
speaking of things, you need to click all the things.
Yes, click all the things. We've got Rick in the chat saying super excited. I'd love to sit in and do some guest commentary. Rick, we can make that happen. You never know what's going to happen at a BCW show. It's going to be wild. It's going to be fun. And the reason it's going to be as amazing as it is because I expect all of you to be there. So join us Saturday night, TMW Event Center. What time's the event start?
Doors open at 6 o'clock. Show will start at 7.
There it is. Doors at 6, bells at 7. Let's do this thing. Let's show them how a West Texas crowd is supposed to sound. We'll send the video footage off to the French so they can learn a few things too. But until then, I'm Guapo. That's Mike Caldwell. We are not your average marks, and we will see y'all on Saturday. Yeah.